I've been teaching here at that school for 23 years now, and I came into teaching late. I came in as a mother, 3 children. I'm passionate about children, and when I sat down to think about what I was going to say, I thought what I'm going to say is that the children in this community matter. I want to talk today about what these cuts mean for the children here in our community. I'm really proud of where I teach. I was proud to get my first teaching job here in Liskeard in 1995. I was really pleased with the education my children and my nephew got here at this school. I knew they were in a school where staff go above and beyond every day for the children they teach, and we are a really strong community school. But I also remember talking to one of my colleagues when the first public service cuts came in 8 years ago, and when they began to bite, and it's really painful, slowly watching those cuts bite into the education of the children we're working with. There are figures in the posters and you've seen them, but I'm going to talk about what it feels like day to day in my long working week to try and mitigate the effects of those figures. These cuts mean fewer resources, bigger classes, fewer teaching assistants. Last year, for the first time ever, we had a reduced photocopying budget. I write resources for the children I teach. They like them and I write more. Why should I have to stop and think how much they cost before I produce another 50p resource for a child in front of me? Why should I have to do that? Why can't I spend my time and my creativity matching the resources to the child? What these cuts mean is the care and support for our children is stretched and stretched again, and we're stretched, managing budget constraints, trying to do right by every child we're responsible for. And living in this community, I'm aware of the impact of the austerity programme on our children in a wider sense. I've taught children coming up to exams who have to move and move again because their tenancies are not secure. How does that help them get ready for their vital exams? A dear friend of mine with 2 small children was evicted from her home this summer. I saw the effect on her children. Her little boy, especially anxious, picking up tension and worry. Where was the network to help her and keep him safe? It was eroded, it was underfunded, it was non-existent. She is much loved in this community. She's not here today, but she's a fantastic activist. And we helped her find the home she needed. And I was there, I watched her son as his bed was being rebuilt in his bedroom in his new house. And the look of worry that came off his face because he was being looked after. That's going to stay with me for a very long time. And this summer at our school we went above and beyond. We fed people, we fed families at our school, working with the Real Junk Food Project. I remember one girl I teach, 13 years old, taking food home for her parents. Very insistent there had to be food to take home to feed her family. 13 years old. Why is a 13-year-old girl worried about what her parents are going to eat? And what does that tell us about the likelihood that she's going to go home and study? One of my very close friends works for CAMS, supporting children and teenagers with mental health issues, and the picture there is desperate. And what's changed here in the last 8 years is that when a child needs that help, and that's serious when they need that help, sometimes it's not there. When a child is having mental health issues, when they are thinking about suicide, they need the help then and there. And not to have that help available is not only short-sighted, we're talking about the mental health of our future population. It's wicked and it's inhumane. What makes me angry is the underlying message here from this government is that our children don't matter in the way they should. And to me, the children I teach matter in the same way my children mattered. And they deserve smaller class sizes. They deserve more teaching assistants. They deserve teachers freed from worry, able to work with joy and creativity, because that's what comes through to our children, that's what builds them. And the children need to be free from worry themselves in order to thrive. And they shouldn't have to be a battle. A well-funded education for children brought up free from adult burdens should be something we're proud to provide for our children. I'm proud I provided it for my own children. I'm really proud that my colleagues are continuing to try to provide it for the children of this community against the odds. Let's change these odds. Let's live and act from the premise that the children in our community matter enough to be educated properly in a system which is properly funded, because that is what they deserve.